Thank you. It was a very tough game. We knew what is coming. Long balls, must fight with headers. And yeah, we trained, we practiced. We only had one day. We played on Tuesday, sorry. Back today, yeah, we fought again.
Young soccer player Flur has been from South Africa. Young man, good-looking man, brave man, great player with so much future. It is very sad, fellas. I don't like talking about things like this, but I think it's a very interesting subject that we need to look into, definitely. He played for Kaizer Chiefs, soccer player. Okay, I mean, in Africa, sometimes we call them football. Okay, for Americans, soccer in Africa is football interchangeably. So if I say football, you know what I'm talking about. It's not American football, it's foot playing. So this young man named Flur, good looking man, look at him. Okay, young South African footballer, played in the Olympics, great promise for his family, expectations. And I can just imagine at 24 years old, how you look at life. Remember when I was 24, you so much expectation, so much hope, not just for yourself, but for your family as well. Just being taken abruptly, brutally by some dodgy people with no life. Very, very sad. Why? They wanted his car. Okay, they wanted his car. They took his car at a petrol station. They took his car. So in South Africa, they call petrol station a garage. So I'm looking for a garage. When you say petrol station, they think you're trying to be all that. Anyway, garage. It's very sad for the people of South Africa. South Africa is a very interesting place. We're going to look into this. So, South African footballer Flur was unalived by carjacking in Johannesburg. The attackers fled with Mr. Flur's vehicle, and police are investigating the case and the carjacking, according to police spokesperson Marvela Mosondo. Mr. Flur previously played for the national under-23 side, representing South Africa at the Tokyo Olympics. This is very sad for his people, very sad for the family, very sad for the team, very sad for his loved ones. But this is not uncommon in South Africa. Carjackings are rampant. Okay, there's a lot of carjacking. Every single day there are cases. In fact, statistics say that some 5,973 cases of reported carjacking in October and December 2023. Reported cases. And we're not talking about the cases that were not reported, because not all cases get reported. This is about 6,000 cases in 1 year. Okay, a year is 365 days. You have 5,973, so 6,000 cases in 365 days. How vicious, brutal of a world are the people living in? Very interesting. This young man is not the only person. Have you ever heard of a man named Lucky Dube? Great musician, reggae player. I remember, I am a free. Yeah, he was amazing. Really, really, really amazing guy. He was taken out in the same situation. In his case, he was just dropping his children in some suburb, and they came for him. They were looking for a Chrysler. He was driving a Chrysler, and they took him out. They took the car. I mean, such a great person, such a legend, being taken out for a car. Unbelievable. Why don't you just take the car? Take the car, leave the man. Okay, shoot him on the foot, on his hand. Just leave the man. AKA was the same case. Great guy, good rapper, promising person, young, vibrant, eclectic, interesting human being. He was taken out in Durban in a very, very, very stupid way. Such a great life with so much future from a beautiful country. Unbelievable. The level of violence that you can see in South Africa is amazing, but it goes unnoticed because it's so regular. It happens every single day that people don't really look into it. South Africa truly is a beautiful place. The food, the people, the culture, the visuals, the cities, the wildlife, the sea, it's amazing. The houses, the villas, the luxurious places. It's very beautiful. However, the crime level, it's unprecedented. Now, I want us to see some of the reasons why people steal cars in South Africa. What do they do with cars once it's stolen? Number one, stripping for parts. This is especially common for popular cars like Toyotas, Nissans, and some other brands, because there is a very high demand for parts. Disrupted supply chain can also make stolen parts more valuable. So many people steal cars so they can go resell. They can strip the cars from the part. They don't necessarily steal the car so they can drive it. They will steal the car, take the part out. The second reason is resell. South Africa is a significant black market for stolen vehicles. Some stolen cars are even driven over border into neighboring countries. In fact, if you go to places like Uganda, you see a lot of cars with JP number plates in Uganda. Plenty of them. I'm not saying all of them are stolen, but hey, there's a good number of those cars that are not necessarily there legally. Matter of fact, I've been to Uganda before many times. And I've been offered a few times a car at a very affordable price. A very, very good looking, very luxurious car with the Gauteng province number plate. And this is not limited to Uganda. Many other places, many other countries in Africa will buy cars that are stolen in South Africa, making it a good opportunity for these criminals. Reason number 3, crime sprees. Hijacked vehicle, strong one, can be used to transport criminals to other crimes and transport stolen goods from different crimes. Reason number 4, short-term use. Sometimes a criminal can steal a car to drive it very shortly, then drop it in a corner and continue. Or maybe to do an execution of something that that doesn't want to be traced, and just leave the car somewhere in a corner. The big question we have here is, why is there so much crime in South Africa? To this, there is no single reason to why South Africa has a high crime rate. It's a complex issue, with a combination of social and economic factors. However, we're going to cite some of them. Number 1, poverty and inequality. According to research, this is what they say. We're going to try to find out if there are any alternatives to this. They say poverty and inequality is the reason why there's widespread crime. So many people, because they have no jobs, because they're poor, they want to be criminal. Number 2, they say lack of jobs and services. So high unemployment rate also is a reason why South Africans could be, many of them are criminal. But does this make sense? Because, South Africa is not the only country in Africa that is unemployment and all that stuff. Many African countries don't necessarily act in a criminal way that you may see in South Africa. Let me put it this way for you. Johannesburg, Durban, and Cape Town are every year ranked among the highest level, the most violent cities in the world. This is something you can verify. So saying poverty is a reason why people are doing that, I don't think it's a reason enough, because there are plenty of people that live in Ghana that are poor. Many people in Ghana are unemployed. But you don't see in Ghana people shooting each other for a pack of cigarettes, or, taking somebody's cell phone and unaliving the person for a very cheap cell phone. Makes no sense. So it could be argued, I don't think poverty is the reason why people can be this way. The other reason, they say, it's history of violence. South Africa's past under apartheid left a legacy of violence that can be difficult to overcome. A culture of violence may be normalized by some. It makes sense. Apartheid was one of the most really atrocious things that ever happened to Africans. It was really degrading. It was a humiliating experience for most South Africans at the time, creating a lot of violence at the time. And it's really bad. Something like that should never happen. Never ever happen. But is this a reason why people become automatically violent? Or is it a choice? Let's look at Rwanda. Rwanda has been through genocide in 1994, where people finished each other, where over 1 million people were taken. 1 million people. Look at Rwanda today. It's a lovely place to be. Very calm, secure. It's the most secure country in Africa, where you could actually send your little sister or your daughter that's 7 years old to go buy sugar at 2 o'clock in the morning by herself, and she can come back safe. You couldn't say the same for many African countries. So I don't necessarily think that the past of South Africa, apartheid, would be the reason why that would justify people being this violent and criminal. Give me your cell phone, goodbye, and give me your cell phone, then bam, bam. That's crazy. There are other reasons like weak law enforcement, where the criminal justice system faces challenges including understaffing, corruption, backlogs in cases. And this can lead to perception that the crime goes unpunished. We're not saying that all crimes in South Africa are unpunished. Absolutely not. There are people going to jail, but the backlog is evident. Many people should be going to jail, and for a long time, in order to clean up the cities. Is there any solution to the crime in South Africa? Because many people, trust me, many people have encountered who've been to South Africa. A lot of people have been through things. They have been either magged or almost got magged. Anybody knows somebody who got magged or got shot or something somewhere. And that's perhaps one of the reasons why many people have guns, or, many, especially white people, have guns. They protect themselves. And you hear many critics say that South Africa during apartheid was safer than South Africa today with the freedom. They would say that they would leave their windows open. There was never need for high walls, not as much as today. because the country was for them very safe at the time when white people ruled the country. Now we can ask ourselves a question. Was South Africa safer during apartheid? No, absolutely not. South Africa was not safer during apartheid, not for the majority of black people. There was racial violence. Apartheid itself was a system of racial oppression where violence against black majority was rampant. Inequal policing, the apartheid police force primarily served the interest of white people, not that of black people. Limited movement and freedom. Black people were not allowed to go where they wanted to go. So was South Africa really safe? It was safe for white people, yes. But at this specific time, when we look at a country that is a rainbow nation, no, it wasn't safe. Now, there's another thing to take into consideration. Now, there's another aspect of things. Some of the solutions that many experts have proposed, they have proposed the death penalty because many people feel like when there is death penalty, people are afraid to do certain crimes. If you know for sure that if I touch this little girl, I'm going forever, never coming back. There are certainly many questions you're going to have to ask yourself before you proceed in doing what you want to do. South Africa has no death penalty. Not anymore. Why? The death penalty was abolished. The South African Constitution, adopted in 1996, protects the right to life. The death penalty was deemed a violation of this right. So the Constitution said no more death penalty because there was too much death penalty in the past. Now it's over. But for some criminals, it was, yay, let's go. The other reason why it was abolished was a racial bias around death penalty. Prior to abolition of the death penalty was applied disproportionately to black people during apartheid area. So you can imagine, a little black person who doesn't listen well, they accuse him of something, and so he can go finished, We've seen many cases like that. Risks of errors. There are always judicial errors. Some people get condemned, without necessarily even committing any crime. They can be sent to the chair, or you know what I mean. But now, this is what critics say. The constitutional right. South African abolished death penalty in 1996. And they say one of the reasons why is because there could be fault into the judicial system, pushing some innocent people to get finished. Innocent people get finished. Surely, that's very possible. But my question is this one. How many innocent people get finished in cases they did not do, compared to the number of people who get finished if you do not have a death penalty? Surely the people that get finished without the death penalty, as things are today, is a much larger number than the number of people that get finished by mistake. Look, innocent people will die whether you like it or not. I'm just saying. That's the reality of it. Whether you have death penalty or not, there will be innocent people being taken out. But the number of innocent people that you will have taken out by criminals will certainly reduce if you had the death penalty instaured. I mean, many people will be scared. They will think twice. At least, let me put it this way for you. There are 10 criminals trying to go do a crime. If there is death penalty, at least 4 out of 10 will go like, you think we need to do that? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And there's certainly already half of the crime reduced with death penalty. Now, some critics believe the reason why they don't want to finish this issue with crime in South Africa is because many people are benefiting from crime in South Africa. The South African private security is one of the biggest business in the country. It actually hires the most people, the most personnel in the country. South African securities are more than the police and the army together. South Africa has over 2 million registered security guard. Yes, private security guard. It's a massive business. And obviously these security guard companies have owners and businessmen and contributors. They also have investors. They're making money. So some critics believe that some people are making money out of fear, if not crime. Meaning you have to fear for you to pay me money to protect you. So if you don't fear, you won't protect me. So if I finish the crime, if I install death penalty, there will be less crime. But less crime means you not fearing. But you not fearing means you not paying me money to protect you. By me not getting money from you, I have no business. So is this true? Is this speculation? This is what some critics believe. There are many countries in the world. 54 countries have death penalty right now. And if you see the reason why they have death penalties installed, people don't do those crimes. Not as much as it is done, or it would have been done if there was no death penalty. So death penalty could be a deterrent that functions. But critics believe they don't want that because that will reduce the level of crime. By reducing the level of crime means there's no business for some people. It's very sad for such a beautiful country to see things like this happen. Is it because of poverty? I don't think so. Many experts do not believe it's the case because many countries are poor. They don't necessarily shoot each other or take each other's cell phone and slashing people. Yeah, they don't do that. Is that a reason why poverty and unemployment shouldn't be dealt with? Absolutely not. They should be dealt with. People should get employment and get jobs. But will jobs stop crime from a criminal? Well, let's think about it this way. It has happened to me in the past to take a poor man from the street and give him a job. I say, stop begging. Come, let's go. He went and worked one day, and the next day was back in the street because making money in the street was much easier than working for the man. God bless.